I want to try to get through this really quick. Let's try to get it in like 5 minutes. Pros and cons, let's go. So I guess by the thumbnail, you probably know exactly what this video is about. This isn't gonna be your average GoPro review. It's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna talk about the things that I personally like about it. I'm not gonna get too much into the specs, but just the main specs that I actually care about. And maybe if this product is for you. So I do have to do a couple of things too, like I do have to take my girlfriend's vehicle out, go get the truck washed. So this will be a good way for me to actually interpret the GoPro Hero 10 into kind of my everyday vlogs, and you kind of see how I put them in there and how I use it. So I think that would be a lot different than all the other reviews out there for this thing. So I hope you end up sticking around, and I also do want to get into the pros, the cons, all the things I like, dislike, and yeah, that's all I think. For those little like sequences, I think that is like the best thing for this GoPro. Well, for me, because I like to do vlogs, but kind of make them more cinematic. So that way I could actually bring this thing. It's super lightweight. I just throw this little stand on it. But I think that's like my favorite thing for this thing. And also like you could keep it in your pocket, which is crazy. Like I kind of use it when I'm going into stores and stuff like that. I just end up taking the stand off, keeping this like this, and then I would just, and that's like a huge plus with this thing also. It starts as soon as you touch that button. So it's already filming and I just press that button. So it's super fast where you don't miss anything. Like you're not gonna miss any shots. But anyways, I have a lot of things that I gotta do today. I got a couple painting jobs coming up. So I gotta get all my painting gear ready. And I'm supposed to go meet my buddy at the gym today, and I gotta go order paint and get the truck washed because it's actually really nice out. So I think that'll be a good place to test out the 120 and the 240 FPS, so like the slow-mo on here, because I do shoot everything in 24 frames per second. But with the slow-mo on the GoPro, I can slow that right down when I'm shooting on the GoPro at 240. It does have 240 at, believe it's 2.7, and then 60 FPS at 5.3K, I believe. I gotta double check that. Dude, I actually ended up cleaning this thing last year, so that's a huge plus. I don't actually have to clean this thing out. It's ready to go, so that's a good thing. That actually gives me some time. I might as well fix this Super 73. It's got a really bad squeak on it. So yeah, let's fix that up while I got time, because I thought I had to go through all of my stuff, but it's already ready and good to go. So I actually ended up putting my whole battery under my Super 73 because I was watching the Casey Neistat, the episode where it says customize everything, and he actually does that, and I just figured, why didn't I think of that? It's so smart. And I just used this little what would you call this thing, a velcro strap, and I just velcro the battery part on the back. Man, it's been super helpful instead of having to bring the battery out or leaving it around, sitting around. So I've done this before. What happens is like a rock or something small ends up getting stuck in there, and then it starts to just squeal anytime you hit the brake, and then sometimes it'll just squeal even if you're not hitting the brake. So a lot of people probably don't realize this, but like making these videos takes a long time. Like, yeah, I could probably just do videos where I'm just sitting in my studio talking, but sometimes like those are the videos not even I would watch. So I wanted to make videos that other people want to watch. So that's kind of why I do all these camera angles and take my time, because these videos do take me a long time. With that being said, if you do like this video, give it a like, and yeah, comment, all that fun stuff. All that stuff that YouTubers say to do. So right in here, that's where those rocks are. I think it just fell out when I opened it up, but that's what typically happens. It gets really squeaky and loud. Super easy fix. It's just annoying. I have to do this every time. All right, all tight. Let's take it for a quick rip, and then let's see. Wow, I'm super overexposed. Okay, anyways, all tightened up. Let's take it for a really quick rip, see if the squeak's still there, and then I'm gonna go shower up and go head out. Dude, getting real sick of this mask wearing shit. Okay, so the thing I do want to talk about is this thing is super lightweight. So I literally carry it in my pocket. Fits in pretty well any pocket you need, and that kind of helps me with getting the quick shots that I need to get. So like the quick access use is so helpful. Like I pretty well could almost always catch exactly what I'm trying to film. You know what? This might be a bit better to do in the studio a bit later. Let's do that. Let's do all the pros and cons in the studio, and let's just still get some footage with this. I'll leave all the timestamps down below so you can kind of check all that stuff out too, if you want to skip ahead to the pros and cons. Oh man, got a little bit crazy there. Okay, so this is how I kind of get quick time lapses. I use the GoPro for pretty well all my time lapses, only because it's super easy to use, super small. I just usually set it to either 2 or 5 seconds, sometimes 1 second if I know it's gonna be a really short time lapse. Right now I got it set to 2 seconds. I'm just gonna wait for a bit. My buddy's actually supposed to meet me at the gym here. I'm sure nobody cares about the gym, so I'll just catch you guys when I'm done, and yeah, we'll just roll that time lapse that I just got here. Yeah, let's get back to the, oh, I forgot, I gotta get a, I gotta wash the truck. I forgot about that. So we'll wash the truck, and then once the truck gets washed, we can, I'll show some more like slow-mo and stuff like that. Get into the studio, talk about the pros and the cons and things that I do with the GoPro. And yeah, holy man, I'm rambling. Okay, we'll catch you there. So as you could see and as you could hear, the volume is not great on here. The mic actually doesn't work that great. Huge bummer, really hate that. They could have did so much more with the mic, and I wouldn't have to plug a mic into this thing. Gives me ooh, with this I know. I took her down to the river.
Please insert card. You are now ready to enter the car wash.
I think the 240 is a little bit too much for a little bit too slow for what I'm doing here. So let's do 120. So looking back on the footage, I didn't think 240 would be good enough because I felt like it wasn't too fast, but it turned out kind of cool. To be honest, I never really used the 240 because I'm never doing anything that crazy. You know, you want it to be like super fast, like something exploding, like a water balloon exploding. Something like that would be cool. So, but I do use the 120 sometimes for just like water and stuff like that. I think the 60 FPS at 5.3K is pretty good for like what I typically need. Like I don't want to go that slow unless it's, like I said, water or something like that. But the footage turned out pretty good. Anyways, let's get back to the house, and yeah, let's talk about the pros and the cons. Okay, so I'm back, and I just wanted to say, if you stuck around this long, thanks, I appreciate it. I feel like I've been recording a lot today, so I want to try to get through this really quick. Let's try to get it in like 5 minutes. Pros and cons, let's go. First thing I want to say, super lightweight. As I talked about before, you know how I could just pull it out of my pocket. Like I just pulled it out of my pocket just now. Huge for this thing. Probably like one of the best things about the GoPro Hero 10. If you could have a 4K camera in your pocket that shoots 24 frames per second, 60 frames per second, all the way up to 240, unbelievable. Second thing I really like is the stabilization. It's so easy to get good footage when it's not shaky because the stabilization, like the in-body stabilization in this GoPro Hero 10 it's amazing. Like legit out of this world, not even from Earth. Also the 240 FPS at 2.7K. As you've seen, I showed a couple of demonstrations there. Like I said before, don't use it that often, but having that option in a little camera this big is crazy. The fact that it has the 5.3K in this little camera is crazy too. I also do think it's a little overboard though. The only time I'm really shooting in 5.3K is if I'm not 100% sure on my composition. So I could actually crop in without losing resolution. Another thing I really like is the user face on here. It's super simple to use. You could just swipe up, swipe right, swipe, and you just kind of swipe. It's super simple. So you could get in between your photos, your time lapse, and your video. You could take pictures with it, video, time lapse, and you could get in between those super fast. You can make your own little presets, so it's like fast access. So I have a couple different ones, one at 4K 24, and then I have another one at 5.3K at 60, then I have another one 4K at 120, and then extra super slow-mo 2.7 at 240. So the user face is huge, super easy to use, and really fast. So it's super quick to turn on, like I showed in the, I guess you could call it the vlog portion, but the beginning, super easy to turn on, fast. As soon as you click it, I think it's like a little under 2 seconds to actually get it recording. You really won't miss anything. So especially if you have it in your pocket, you pull it out, press the button, and you're recording. So being able to be that fast to actually get recording is such a time saver, and really make sure that you don't like miss those good shots that you want to get. My favorite thing about this thing is how easy it is for me to get footage, wide angle footage, when have my camera with me. So I'm always vlogging talking to my camera. I have the Canon R6, and when I'm shooting with this camera, I actually have the 24 to 105 millimeter lens on here, and the 24 isn't that wide, so this helps me get those wider shots without having to like switch out a lens, but also just having this in my pocket to go set it down somewhere, get me walking around, doing all that. These are just things that I personally like about this thing, and why I think you'll like this thing. But let's talk about the cons now. One of the big things for me of the cons for this is it's hard to color grade, but I'm actually not that great at color grading, so I think that's why it's so hard for me to color grade it, just because I'm trying to match my R6 footage with my GoPro Hero 10 footage with my DJI Mini 2 footage. It's just one more thing that I have to color grade and color match, and it's a bit harder than, like, let's say my DJI Mini 2 to match with my R6. So I try to match all of my colors together with my R6. It's a little bit hard for me to do that. And as I showed in that one part in the vlog, I talked to the GoPro Hero 10 just to show you what it sounds like. That's a huge issue for me with this thing, because you want this to be, if it was just like this, had a good mic on it, this would be like the perfect camera. But the mic sucks, and I think that should have been like one of the biggest things they should have like focused on and really thought about. So you can get this, it's almost like a case that goes around your GoPro and then has a built-in mic, which also comes with like a little adapter so you can plug in another mic. But like when you think about that, that's just so much more hefty and more of a mic, and also it cannot be waterproof. So there's all those factors. Whereas if it was just this, man alive, would that be nice. Also, another thing I don't like is the low light it sucks. I really hate the low light on here. Like, even if I'm shooting in this room with this light, the light over here, it still looks a bit grainy. Like, even some of the footage that I had in that opening sequence that I did with like my painting stuff, even in there's a lot of like grainy shots in there, just because I had all the windows masked off, so there was no light inside. So that is a bummer too. I don't like how the low light is. So if you plan to vlog at night, no chance. Another thing I dislike is the battery life. Battery life sucks on this thing. I do all my time lapses on here, and a lot of the time even that eats up my battery, which is super annoying when you're just trying to do a time lapse and it's draining your battery, right? You can plug in an external charger into the side, and then you can let it just kind of time lapse overnight and do stuff like that. But it is an easy fix too for batteries. They are pretty cheap. I believe they're about 25 bucks Canadian or something. So that's pretty good. Another thing too is it does have a hard time with certain SD cards. I made a video about it that was really annoying, and I lost so much footage that I couldn't recreate because I had an SD card that just didn't work, but that same SD card worked in my Canon R6, but it wouldn't work in here. But I figured out some SD cards that work, and now it's working good and it's flawless. Haven't had any issues. But I do want to say that the pros do outweigh the cons. I really do like this product. Like, the stabilization alone that's like a whole thing in itself, just for you to pick this thing up. Doing handheld, you could get some nice, really smooth shots in 4K 60, nice slow-mo, Like when I was doing that opening sequence, I didn't want to spend so much extra time, you know, filming, but I just had this and it was easy for me to just move around and do that, get shots, get a little bit of slow-mo, get this or that. So that's really super helpful. Those are my thoughts on this product, and I don't know, I really like this thing, I really do, you know. So I don't know, I try to make these videos and reviews into something a little bit different than the average review. So I hope you guys appreciated it and you guys liked it. So anyways, that's my review on the GoPro Hero 10, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Did I just say washing? Thanks for watching. Peace.